Okay, good afternoon, everybody. As Josh mentioned, my name is Chris Grafey. I'm the Director of Enterprise Sales for ViewSonic Corporation. You may know us from our monitors. Our three little birds have been around for 30 plus years. I'm going to talk a little bit today about some of productivity, work from home, and a little bit about how some of our solutions can help and assist through these changes. So the workforce has been forced home. I was reading a tweet in preparation for this presentation today, and it goes something like this. You are only unproductive by the standards of the world we lived in 2 months ago. And that world is gone now. So what does productivity look like? What are some of the things that as you're working from home, in your home office setup, we heard it a little bit earlier in the presentations and in some of the speeches from some of the earlier presenters about what that looks like and where people are and how they're getting things done. So a large percentage of Americans who previously commuted to work report that they're working from home the first week of April. Prior to the coronavirus, only 4% of the U.S. workforce was working from home. 30% will continue to work from home multiple days per week within a couple of years. I think you're going to see a lot of this changing, a lot of this type of work, and what will it look like going forward. So are you working from home or are you hardly working? It's hard. It's hard out here, right? 50% of businesses expect a dip in productivity during the pandemic. What are some of those barriers to working from home? Well, first of all, there was a lack of remote work capabilities and technologies, as we heard. There were quick ramp-ups. We had a number of organizations that contacted us, talking to us about how we were going to, assist their employees and their workforce in their home setup, right? A lot of monitor requests, a lot of ability for them to come and dedicate themselves to their time and to their craft. I, like a lot of you, had big plans when this started. I was going to clean out a lot of my closets, possibly relearn guitar, among other things. And now we're really just getting to the point of what's survival look like? What's it going to take, and how are we going to measure that productivity as we go forward? But companies are realizing that remote work does really work. And when done correctly, it can be very productive. Like ViewSonic, or some companies like ViewSonic, are now all work from home. So they've had to build up guidelines that are probably have an easier time to define what that work from home looks like. Before Corona, there was a lot of pent-up demand for people and greater work-life flexibility. I know, as I mentioned, our sales force has been work from home and in home-based or home office-based for the 30 years that I've been with ViewSonic. A lot of my neighbors were very envious of it and thought, man, that would be great if I could do that. Well, now they're in the throes of it, and they're learning that it's not as easy as it looks, and definitely not as glamorous. So after coronavirus, social distancing, you're going to make employers and management are going to have to see the benefits of remote work, especially as they themselves have had to do it from home. We've seen a lot of, expenses in the first half of March, which included computer monitors. We heard earlier from some of the CIOs where they have a sign-out system based on their web, based on a website. There's office supplies, mice, keyboards. It was a big departure from the norm as these home offices were outfitted. These purchases happened at companies after working from home was a new development. There's some tips and things that we found very helpful when it comes to home office and working from home and making sure it's productive. Communication, you have to communicate. There needs to be clear expectations and goals. Have to have the technology in place that allows this to happen, and you have to trust your people. You have to trust that they're going to be able to get this done.